Now let's look at some examples of multiplying polynomials. So let's look at the first. It is a fairly simple example. We have 4x times 2x squared minus 3x plus 10. So the key step here is that first you distribute and then you combine like terms. So let's distribute first. Distributing means we multiply this term by the first term, then by the second term, and then by the third term. So 4x times 2x squared, we multiply the number times the number. 4 times 2 is 8. And then x times x squared. So x times x squared will be x to the third. Then we multiply 4x times a negative 3x. Well, 4 times a negative 3 would be negative 12. X times x will be x squared. And then we have 4x times 10. 4 times 10 is 40. And there's x here, so there's an x there. Now we look at see if there's any like terms. This is x cubed, x squared, x. There isn't, so that's your answer. And that's all you do. Now remember, the key here is multiplying monomials. So if you need help with that, there's a video that's simply called Multiplying Monomials, and you can watch that. So let's look at another example. Now let's look at x minus 5 times 2x squared plus 3x minus 6. And here again, first thing we're going to distribute, but here we have a binomial that we're distributing. So what we do first is we distribute the first term. So you multiply x by all three terms. And then after that, you multiply the second term by all three terms. And then you combine like terms. So you still can think of it as distributing first and then combining like terms. So that's x times 2x squared is 2x to the third. X times 3x, that's 3x squared. And then x times a minus 6 is a minus 6x. Now we're going to distribute the minus 5. That's minus 5 times 2x squared is a minus 10x squared. We could continue linearly along here, but we're actually going to stack them. So that's minus 5 times 2 is a minus 10x squared. There's x squared, so I'm going to put it right under that. So that's minus 10x squared. And then minus 5 times 3x, that's a minus 15x. And then minus 5 times a minus 6, that's going to be a positive 30. And the only reason we do that is that that allows us to combine like terms without as much trouble. Here we only have one x cubed term, so that's 2x cubed. We have two x squared terms, so that's 3x squared and a minus 10x squared. 3 minus 10 is minus 7, so that's minus 7x squared. Then we have minus 6 minus x, and minus 15x is a minus 21x. And that's a positive 30. And that's your final answer. Now, a real common problem when you're multiplying monomials is what's called FOIL. Let's do two examples of that. That's x plus 9, x minus 3. Here's another example, 2x minus 5 times 3x plus 4. We call it FOIL because it's first, outside, inside, last. I'll do two examples here, but if you look, there's a video that's just called FOIL and that you can watch. And the idea is first you multiply the x times the x, that's f. X times x is x squared. Then the O is the outside, so you take the outside times the outside, so x times a minus 3 is minus 3x. I is for inside, that's right there, so it's F-O-I. 9 times x is a plus 9x. And then last would be the last two terms, so it's 9 times a minus 3 is a minus 27. It's just a different rearranging of distributing, that's all it is. Now these two terms you can combine because it's a minus 3x and a plus 9x, so your final answer is going to be x squared plus 6x minus 27. Let's FOIL this one. Here you have first 2x times 3x, that's 6x squared, outside. Now when you do that, make sure you don't forget your squared. Almost everyone knows that, but occasionally people make mistakes. forget it. It's 2x times 3x, so it's 6x squared. That's f. O is outside, so it's 2x times 4, that's 8x. I is inside, that's a negative 5 times a 3, that's minus 15x. And then last, which is minus 5 times 4. Minus 5 times 4 is a minus 20. Let's combine like terms. If you notice, these two terms here are going to be like, so we end up with 6x squared. 8x and minus 15x is a minus 7x, and then minus 20. And that's your answer there. And that's how you multiply polynomials.